The Kuchi of Afghanistan are a nomadic tribe. On the day of Afghanistan's first free national elections, they were just passing through the village of Daynow. "We are not voting," said an old man among them. "We are not interested." Bringing groups like the Kuchi into the democratic process was just one challenge facing those who want to bring democracy to this war-torn and exhausted nation. For a few weeks in October, we visited Afghanistan and other countries in the Near East and Central Asia. We came with questions about democracy. What does it mean in places far removed from the United States? And how is it taking root in a region that the United States looks at as a source of terrorism? With an election heating up at home, we went first to a country that was struggling to use elections as a defining moment of national rebirth. In Kabul, where a strong international presence helps keep things stable, the people embraced the elections with an almost wild enthusiasm. In the last week before the vote, a generally quiet campaign for president heated up, with rallies like this one. Yunus Kanuni was the strongest challenger to the US-backed incumbent President Hamid Karzai. Kanuni was also the most adept at a subtle game, playing to the patriotic memory of struggle against the Soviet occupation, while promising voters a new Afghanistan with equal rights, peace, and prosperity for all. While Americans often view this country as torn between warlords and Western-leaning democracy advocates like Karzai, the reality is more complex. Kanuni is both a mujahideen, a fighter, and a technocrat who strikes a very reasonable tone. These young men had clearly come to cheer on the mujahideen in him. A more low-key but no less powerful investment in a new Afghanistan could be found in the village of Karabagh, north of Kabul, on an arid, war-torn plain. Radio Karabagh is a small independent station that broadcasts local and national news, as well as informational programming.
شنونده‌های عزیز رادیوی قره‌باغ سلام. امیدوارم که صحت سلامت داشته باشین. روز خوشی را آغاز کرده باشین.
As Americans debated whether or not Afghanistan was ready for elections, and if these elections could be free and fair when much of the country was still in turmoil, Radio Karabagh was building a base among the people of this region. It was bringing them a vision of themselves both as local villagers, paying attention to their everyday concerns, and as Afghans, tied into what may be a newly coalescing sense of national identity. It was difficult to tell if the passion for the candidates and the support for institutions like Radio Karabagh were the building blocks of a new national commitment to democracy, or just outlets for traditional local tribal feelings.
My name is Mir Zaman, and the people from my village, Mir Kala, they are going for voting.
In Logar province, where we watched the elections unfold, it was clear that the village had adapted voting to their own local purposes.
It's a very good day for my people. We will vote for Karzai.
Like Mir Zamoun, who was voting for Hamid Karzai, the men here were enthusiastic and committed to the new process. But in many ways, they were doing things just as they had always done them, meeting to talk politics in the local mosques, looking to village elders for guidance, separating men from women, and in the end, apparently, voting in a single block. Is it democracy if you make decisions collectively along ethnic lines? Is it any different than ward politics in Chicago? From outside of Afghanistan, these elections were no doubt viewed as a referendum on U.S. foreign policy. From inside, however, it was clear that the Afghans were out ahead of any such concerns. They were doing democracy not because the U.S. had imported and sold them the idea. A huge international effort had been made to prepare them for this election. And then the Afghans took over, remaking the process along their own lines. It was imperfect and even undemocratic in some ways, but it was their own.